Ever since I was a little bitty boy, I have always had a temper. Shit has always been a problem for decisions. Feel the demons taking over, not of my own volition. Need some pills, don't got any new prescriptions. There's a void inside my soul. Family said there's something missing. Still I'm searching for the confidence I'm needing just to keep me breathing. Feel I'm letting go. Shit can be misleading, out of my control. Cut to see me bleeding, bodies getting cold. Whoa. Think it's something that I said. Well, so much for being brave. All the voices in my head, I have always been afraid. Loaded clips, they're full of lead. Time for digging me a grave. Mind is filling up with dread. Ain't no room for being safe. I have always been afraid of the choices that I made, of the choices that I made, of the choices I have always been afraid of the voices in my head, of the voices in my head, of the voices in my. There's nobody who can help, I gotta do it on my own. Try to knock nobody's home, what's the truth I gotta know. Need a map, I'm on the road, this is all up in my mind. Nothing physical to hold, autopilot losing time. Getting hard for me to cope, I don't even wanna try to show you all my thoughts and all my real feelings. Baggage stacking to the ceiling, most of it is bone chilling. I can still see the gun pointing at my face by a person that I love, man. I felt like a disgrace, praying to the Lord above that he would not pull the trigger. Fast forward, now I'm down in all these bottles of the liquor, hoping that I will not wake up. Now I'm inside of a hospital and really hope I make it. God, it's hard to understand, I can't see it in the plans. Feel I'll never get a chance, feels impossible to see a future where I'm in it. Wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? I think I'm fucking finished. I think it's something that I said. Well, so much for being brave. All the voices in my head, I have always been afraid. Loaded clips, they're full of lead. Time for digging me a grave. Mind is filling up with dread. Ain't no room for being safe. I have always been afraid of the choices that I made, of the choices that I made, of the choices I have always been afraid of the voices in my head, of the voices in my head, of the voices in my. Here we go, a part of my life where I was foolish, getting married too young. I don't know what I was doing, taking on the role of father when I barely been a student. Shit so hard I can't compute it, but all I know I gotta keep it moving. Cause I've always been afraid of the choices that I made, of the choices that I made, of the choices that yeah, I've always been afraid of the voices in my head, of the voices in my head, of the voices in my. Why the fuck am I this way? I can't carry all this weight. There's so much that I can't say. This is molding me like clay. Barely getting paid, barely getting by. Always been afraid, somehow I seem to stay alive. Even if I try to end it, there's no point in me pretending. Talking to my family, shit is feeling so damn condescending. Broken bonds, ain't no point in mending. Suicidal thoughts, since your boy was like 11. Depressed, it feels like a life sentence. Hold up, let me switch up my perspective. Somewhere in this there's a lesson. You can always find a blessing. It ain't luck, this shit was destined. The gift of gab, this is a present. In the present there's a message to make amends with all my debts and sins. It's the point where I begin. Hold the mic, I'm going in. Zooming close, I crop the lens. Tell a story with the pen. Guess it really just depends. Even if you're steady losing, get to learning you can win. Pick yourself up off the ground and get to work and tell yourself you can. Your mind's the greatest weapon. Start pushing, get your reps in, and clean up all the wreckage. I get to be fighting my foes, get through all the highs and the lows. It's me, I'm writing the code, I'm seeing the fork in the road. One did the humble abode, the other I'm building a mode. Inhibited limits, forget I'm forging a path of the life that I'm living. Been given the chance to be making the difference. Hop over the fence, I'm no longer defensive. The effort I put in will give me all of these blessings. Now I know that I'm okay, I'm not sitting in the shade. It's about feeling the rays. I've been at this shit for days. Clean and tidy, bed is made. Might is sharper than the blade, hotter than the Everglades. Hey, I no longer feel afraid of the choices that I made, of the choices that I made, of the choices that I no longer feel afraid of the voices in my head, of the voices in my head, of the voices I no longer feel afraid of the choices that I made, of the choices that I made, of the choices that I no longer feel afraid.